Today let's take up the topic of trial balance. Now first of all let's understand what is a trial balance. Now here uh, a trial balance is a list of debit and credit balances taken out from the ledger. So first of all the transactions are recorded in the journal and then they are posted to the ledger, and after balancing the ledger accounts, the balances are taken out from the ledger and they are put in the trial balance. The trial balance also includes the balances taken out from the cash book. So a cash book is maintained, suppose it's a double column cash book, then the cash account and bank account will come from there. Now a trial balance is prepared after recording the journal entries and posting the journal entries into the ledger. A trial balance is prepared on a particular date. Normally, a trial balance is prepared at the end of the financial year, that is before the preparation of final accounts. And after the balancing of the ledger accounts, everything is complete, a trial balance is prepared. But a trial balance can be prepared on any date. The date has to be mentioned while preparing the trial balance. Now, some more points about the trial balance. The trial balance verifies the arithmetical accuracy of posting of entries from journal to ledger. The trial balance, I'll be showing you the format of the trial balance after this. Trial balance has got two columns. One is a debit balance column, one is the credit balance column. Now here I have written the second point as the total of the debit balances and the total of the credit balances should be the same in the trial balance. That is, if the total of the debit balances and the total of the credit balances is the same, that means the trial balance is correct, right? That means it verifies the arithmetical accuracy of posting. That means all the transactions have been posted correctly into the trial balance. If the debit balance and the credit balance do not tally, then that means there is some error in the recording of journal entries or posting into the ledger. Now, in some cases, the debit balances and the credit balances, the total of them, they do tally, but even then, there might be some errors. Now, so even if the total of the debit balances and the credit balances is same, that is, they tally, it does not mean that the trial balance is without any error. Sometimes certain errors like error of principle, which are not disclosed by the trial balance. So trial balance is not a conclusive proof of the accuracy of the books of accounts. There can be some errors, like while recording the journal entries, instead of debiting one account and crediting the other, we have done it the other way around, or some error in the principles of accounting that has been done, right? So those kind of errors that will not be shown by the trial balance, right? This error of principle and all we will be taking up in our next chapter, which is rectification of errors, right? So as of now, you just understand that even if the trial balance does tally, doesn't mean that it is perfectly correct. There can be some errors. But as of now, we should stick with this, that the total of the debit balances and the total of the credit balances should be the same in the trial balance. That verifies the arithmetical accuracy of the posting of entries from journal to ledger. The trial balance basically helps in locating the errors. So if the credit balances and debit balances do not tally, then we come to know that there is some errors, and we can trace out the errors from the balances. And it also helps in the preparation of the final accounts. The last stage is the preparation of final accounts. So when the trial balance is prepared, it has all the balances as a summary kind of a thing. So from there it is easy to pick up the balances and put it into the final accounts. Okay, now the next thing that will take up that will come to here is mm, methods of preparing a trial balance. There are two ways of preparing a trial balance. One is called the balance method and the other one is called the totals method. Now, before explaining this, I'll show you the format of a trial balance here. This is the specimen of a trial balance. Here we should write trial balance and then as on the date should come on which the trial balance is prepared. The first column, this is the heads of accounts, right? And then you have the ledger folio number, and this is the debit balance and this is the credit balance. Here it will be debit balance and credit balance for the balances method, and if you are following the totals method it will be debit totals and credit totals, right? Debit totals and credit totals. Heads of accounts, here we'll have the different heads of accounts like cash, bank, furniture, plant, machinery, creditors, debtors, like this, right? And whatever balances we have or whatever totals, that will come here. Now let's come to these two methods here. Supposing I have a ledger account, let's say we have a ledger account, let's say furniture account here, furniture account. Now let's just put down some entries here. To balance brought down 10,000, right? To cash account 20,000. And here let's say buy cash or buy bank account, let's say 5,000 rupees, right? Now here you see this is buy balance brought carried down 30, this should be 25 here. The total on both sides is 30,000, right? 30,000 like this, right? Now here we will have two balance brought down next month, that is 25,000, right? Now this is the furniture account that we have. Now if I want to transfer this, put this furniture account in the trial balance according to both methods. Now first of all, the balances method, balance method, The trial balance, the format will be the same as I shown you. The head of account will come, then the ledger folio number, that is the page number in the ledger where that account is appearing, right? So here I write furniture account, furniture, and now in the balance method, we have to write the balance. Now here you see, this is the furniture account. Now this one, this is the balance here. This is the debit balance. This appears in the debit side, right? This is a debit balance. So furniture has got a debit balance of 25,000, right? So here in the debit side, we will write this 25,000 according to the balances method, right? Now the same thing if I want to do in the totals method, totals method. Now here we have this head of account and ledger folio. This is the debit total and then you have the credit total, right? Now here we will write furniture account. Now the debit side total, that's what we have to write. The debit side total is 30,000, fine. So here we will write the debit side total, that is 30,000. And what is the credit side total? The credit side total is 5,000. This balance carried down, this we are not going to take this into account because that is the balance basically. Apart from that, what are the entries here? It's only by bank account 5,000. So this is what is the credit side total. This is what we have to take here, right? So here on the credit total, I'll write 5,000 like this. Fine. So this is basically the totals method. This is trial balance as on the date will be given like this, right? Normally, we'll be following the balance method. The totals method is not widely followed. It is the balance method which is followed everywhere, and we will be taking up questions on the balance method only. So, now we have seen how to prepare a trial balance, like what is the format of a trial balance and what are the different methods of preparing a trial balance, right? Now the next thing that you should know is what are the accounts that will have, now see, debit balances. For debit balances, remember this, cash account, bank generally has a debit balance. If it is a bank overdraft, it goes into the credit side, right? All assets will have a debit balance, right? Purchases will have a debit balance. Sales return will have a debit balance. Drawings will have a debit balance. And all expenses, like salary, rent, all these things, they will have a debit balance, and all losses will also have a debit balance. Now look at this credit balance here. Credit balance, if there is a bank overdraft, it is a credit balance, right? Capital is a credit balance. All liabilities is a credit balance, right? Sales is a credit balance. Purchase returns is a credit balance. And creditors is a debit balance. All incomes and gains is a credit balance. Here, debtors is a debit balance, right? So normally these are the accounts which have the debit balances and these have the credit balances. Anyway, when you will be preparing your ledger accounts. When you prepare the ledger accounts, then obviously there, when you balance the ledger account, you will come to know whether it is a credit balance or a debit balance. If this debit side is more, then it is a debit balance. If the credit side is more, then it is a credit balance, right? In this case, the debit side is more, it's a debit balance here, right? Okay. So this is how a trial balance is to be prepared. So in our next session, we will see how to actually prepare a trial balance. We will take up a question in which we will be preparing a trial balance. So with that, I come to the end of this session. Bye.